Hi guys, me again, Mr. Cool, as they say. Now, today I want to look at the word up to. Up to. Now, many of my students get very confused when I say, hi guys, what have you been up to lately? And they go, up to? What is up to? Okay. Very commonly used in England. We say up to instead of saying doing. Up to means doing. So what have you been up to since I last saw you? Present perfect tense. Oh, I've been meeting my friends. I've been studying very hard for my English exam. Okay, so up to. We can use up to in all tenses. So, what are you up to this evening? What are you doing this evening? This evening I'm up to. Never use in the answer. Go straight to the doing. So what are you up to this evening? This evening I'm meeting up or meeting with my friends and we're going to have dinner together. Great. Past simple. So what did you get up to yesterday? What were you doing yesterday? So a past continuous. What did you get up to yesterday? Yesterday I went to visit my friend. We had lunch. We watched a movie. Then we went to the park. We went walking, etc. So up to. So what will you get up to later? What will you be doing later? Will be plus ing. Later I will be meeting my friends. I will probably be studying hard for my English exam. Great. Up to. Try using that. Up to. It's difficult at first, but when we start to think, well, it just means doing, okay? Another word that we use a lot is fancy. 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 I fancy plus ing. Verbing. Which basically means I want to. I would like, or I would like to. So David, what do you fancy doing later? What would you like to do later? Well, I fancy watching a movie. I quite fancy going round to see Jane and John. I quite fancy staying home and watching a movie with you. What do you fancy having for dinner? Practice that. Yes, I fancy having a pizza. I fancy having fish and chips. Yeah. What do you fancy doing next weekend? I fancy ing. Well, I quite fancy going walking in the mountains here in wonderful Almaty, Kazakhstan. That's where I live. That's where I teach. Beautiful place. Well, I quite fancy having a quiet day at home. Chilling out with you. Where do you fancy going on holiday? Where do you fancy going on holiday? Well, I quite fancy going to Turkey. And I quite fancy going to Greece. How about you? Where do you fancy going on holiday? What do you fancy having for dinner this evening? What do you fancy watching on TV this evening? What movie do you fancy watching at the cinema? See if any of you guys can answer that. Okay? So just a quick little lesson there with up to, which means doing, and fancy, which means I want to, I would like to. And fancy and up to will help you to sound more natural and native. Okay, so I hope that's been useful. Anyway, I'm not up to much today. That means I'm not doing much. Yeah, what are you guys up to? Let me know. Do svidaniya, as they say here in Almaty. Bye bye.